Our last colligative property is osmotic pressure, symbol is pi. Before the identification of osmotic pressure, first you have to learn what is osmosis. Now here I am taking a container in which a pure solvent is taken, or this can be dilute solution also. Any one we can take, solvent or dilute solution. Into this a glass vessel is dipped like this, and here this glass vessel contains concentrated solution that I will write here. Concentrated solution. Now here this is dilute solution and the solution present in the glass vessel is concentrated solution. Here both are separated by a membrane called semi-permeable membrane. So simply we can write SPM, semi-permeable membrane. What is a semi-permeable membrane? The membrane that allows only solvent molecules through it, not solute molecules, called semi-permeable membrane. Now here come to the experiment here. Here this container contains dilute solution or pure solvent, and this glass vessel contains concentrated solution. Both are separated by semi-permeable membrane. Now the solvent present in the dilute solution, slowly enters into concentrated solution through semi-permeable membrane. The flow of solvent from dilute solution to concentrated solution through semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. I will repeat. The flow of solvent molecules from dilute solution to concentrated solution through semi-permeable membrane is called osmosis. Because of this osmosis, the level of this particular solution increases. Here level for dilute solution decreases. At a particular point of time, this process will be stopped. That osmosis process will be stopped because the pressure which is acting on the concentrated solution, which is quite opposite to the direction of inflow of solvent from dilute solution to concentrated solution, is called osmotic pressure. So this osmotic pressure stops the osmosis process, or you can say the pressure that is required to stop the osmosis process is called osmotic pressure. Or here in this particular case we can identify dilute solution, concentrated solution, and semi-permeable membrane. Due to the inflow of solvent from dilute solution to concentrated solution, level of this solution increases, and at a particular point of time this process will be stopped because of osmotic pressure. Now we can explain this concept by taking other experiment also. Here this is a container where we have dilute solution or solvent, and in another container we can take concentrated solution. Now here both are separated by a semi-permeable membrane. This is semi-permeable membrane. Now at the top of the dilute solution and concentrated solution we have movable pistons. Now here this is dilute solution, concentrated solution, both are separated by semi-permeable membrane, and these two are movable pistons. Now here the solvent present in the dilute solution slowly enters into concentrated solution through semi-permeable membrane. Then level of this movable piston increases, and here that level decreases. After some time this process will be stopped. Now I will show the directions here. Here level increases, here decreases. Now here why this osmosis process is stopped here? Here both the solutions are attaining equilibrium. That means this is dilute solution, this is concentrated solution. After osmosis process both the concentrations get equal. That's why this process is stopped. It reaches equilibrium. Now here by applying pressure on this movable piston and it is moved to original position, then immediately it moves upwards. That means we are going to stop this osmosis process by applying pressure. The pressure that is required to stop the osmosis process is called osmotic pressure. This osmotic pressure is denoted by a symbol pi. Now here we know all the gas laws. We can apply all the gas laws to a dilute solution in this concept, because the solute present in dilute solution behaves as a gas. That's why we can apply all the gas laws here. We know that according to Boyle's law, pressure is inversely proportional to volume. So here instead of pressure you are taking osmotic pressure. Here osmotic pressure is inversely proportional to volume of the solution at constant temperature. According to Charles' law, volume is directly proportional to temperature at constant pressure. According to Avogadro's law, volume is directly proportional to number of moles of solute. Now here by applying all these conditions we can write a formula which is similar to ideal gas equation. There we will write PV is equal to nRT, but here we will write pi V is equal to nRT. Now we can write pi is equal to nRT by V. What is pi here? Osmotic pressure of the given solution. What is N? Number of moles of solute in the given solution. T is absolute temperature. This is V is volume of solution, and R is universal gas constant. Now we know that what is N by V here? N by V is nothing but molarity. It is simply written as concentration. That's why we can write pi is equal to CRT. Here C is concentration, R molarity, that is nothing but N by V. From this particular formula, we can write another relation also. That relation is pi is equal to W1 RT by M1 into V. Now here W1 by M1 is nothing but weight of solute by molecular weight of solute, that is nothing but number of moles of solute here. Now see this relation once. Here pi is osmotic pressure. How this is a colligative property? Now see this relation once. Osmotic pressure is directly proportional to concentration of the solution. Concentration of solution depends on number of particles of solute. As number of particles of solute increases, concentration of the solution increases, osmotic pressure also increases. What are isotonic solutions? Two different solutions having same osmotic pressure at a given temperature is called isotonic solutions. I will repeat, two different solutions having same osmotic pressure at a given temperature is called isotonic solutions. For example, RBC are isotonic with 0.9% weight by volume of sodium chloride solution. So 0.9% weight by volume of sodium chloride is also called saline water. This saline water is isotonic with RBC. Now here, suppose 0.9% sodium chloride solution is taken and a particular RBC cell is placed here, then there is no osmosis process, because here RBC is isotonic with 0.9% weight by volume sodium chloride solution. That is why there is no osmosis. That means for isotonic solutions, osmosis is not possible. Now come to another condition. Here I am taking sodium chloride solution where concentration of sodium chloride is less than 0.9% weight by volume, and now RBC cell is placed here. Remember, here concentration of NaCl is less. If you place RBC in this particular solution, then here concentration of NaCl is less. That's why solvent present in NaCl enters into RBC cell and it swells. So here you are placing RBC in less concentrated solution. Solution that is having less concentration is said to be hypotonic solution. Now in third case, here concentration of NaCl is more than 0.9% weight by volume. Now in this, if RBC is placed, now here concentration of sodium chloride is more, that's why the water or solvent present in RBC comes out. Because of this, it shrinks. Size of RBC decreases. Now here concentration of NaCl is more, that's why this is called hypertonic solution. I will repeat, hypertonic solution. That means this is the case for isotonic solutions where osmosis is not possible. In this case, concentration of NaCl is less, that's why solvent present in NaCl enters into RBC. Now here concentration of NaCl is more, that's why solvent present in RBC comes out. This is the difference between different conditions here or concentrations here. By changing the concentration of the solution, there is a change in the process also. Next point is reverse osmosis. Now here I am taking a container. This is semi-permeable membrane. Once again this is dilute solution or solvent, and this is concentrated solution. Both are separated by semi-permeable membrane. Now here these are movable pistons. At natural condition, solvent present in dilute solution enters into concentrated solution. This is osmosis. But here on the concentrated solution, by applying pressure, then solvent present in the concentrated solution enters into dilute solution through semi-permeable membrane called reverse osmosis. What is the definition of reverse osmosis? What is reverse osmosis? The pressure that is required, which is more than osmotic pressure, to send the solvent from concentrated solution to dilute solution is called reverse osmosis. Or by applying more pressure, which is more than osmotic pressure, on the surface of concentrated solution, the solvent present in the concentrated solution enters into dilute solution through semi-permeable membrane called reverse osmosis. So what is the use of reverse osmosis? If you see any water purifier, there we can identify one simple letters like RO, or you can say RO technique. What is RO technique here? Reverse osmosis technique. So this reverse osmosis is used to purify water, or this is also called desalination of water. Now how to purify water here? I will explain. Now here a container is taken which is filled with pure water. Now other container where we have impure water, or you can say salt water. Here both are separated by semi-permeable membrane, and from here this is connected to a system which is having a movable piston. Now see this carefully, Amma. Now this is pure water which acts as dilute solution, or you can say pure solvent, and this container contains salt water. This is like concentrated solution. Now here, by applying more pressure on this movable piston, then forcefully the water present in the salt water container slowly enters into pure water container through semi-permeable membrane. The salts and all other mud particles or impurities remains here only because they cannot pass through the semi-permeable membrane. In this way, we can convert impure water into pure water, where we can collect pure water. Send more tap water here and more pure water you will get. By applying the pressure which is more than osmotic pressure on the surface of concentrated solution, then solvent present in concentrated solution enters into dilute solution or solvent chamber called reverse osmosis. In this process, all the impurities or all the salts will be separated because they cannot enter into this chamber through semi-permeable membrane. Now see all four colligative properties once. First one, relative lowering of vapor pressure. P naught is vapor pressure of pure solvent, PS is vapor pressure of solution, W1 is weight of solute, M1 is molar mass of solute, W2 is weight of solvent, M2 is molar mass of solvent. Here, as number of particles of solute increases, PS decreases, but RLVP increases. So RLVP is directly proportional to number of particles of solute and inversely proportional to molar mass of the solute. Now come to second colligative property, that is elevation in boiling point. Delta TB is elevation in boiling point, TB is boiling point of solution, T naught is boiling point of pure solvent, Kb is molar elevation constant. Now as number of particles of solute increases, TB increases, elevation in boiling point also increases. That is why elevation in boiling point is directly proportional to number of particles of solute, and this is inversely proportional to molar mass once again. Now come to third one, depression in freezing point. Here delta TF is depression in freezing point, T naught is freezing point of pure solvent, TF is freezing point of solution, Kf is molar depression constant. As number of particles of solute increases, freezing point of solution decreases, but depression in freezing point increases. Here depression in freezing point is directly proportional to number of particles of solute and inversely proportional to molar mass of the solute. Now last one is osmotic pressure. As number of particles of solute increases, osmotic pressure also increases. Now osmotic pressure is directly proportional to number of particles of solute and inversely proportional to molar mass of the solute. Now finally, all the colligative properties are directly proportional to number of particles of solute and inversely proportional to molar mass of the solute.